210 Boxing TV here with Robert Garcia. Robert, let's talk about what we saw yesterday. It's a lot of chatter on Twitter, X now and everything, like Sean Porter and a lot of other fighters and trainers as well saying Anthony Joshua did what he did yesterday for boxing. How did you feel about Anthony Joshua versus Ngannou and the knockout?
I think Anthony Joshua had a great year last year. Fought 3 times back to back, and that's what he needed. The last fight in December showed that his performance was the best of all 3. So he needed activity, and that's what all boxers need, man. That's one thing that we don't see in world champions right now. We have a lot of fighters that are always off for over a year and a half. They have 1 fight per year, and that's not really good, man. The guys need to be active, and Anthony's performance last night, with the 3 fights last year, showed that that's what fighters need. And another thing is he did what he was supposed to, show the world that everybody thinking, oh, this guy came out of MMA to beat world class fighters, world champions, was just something that actually we got to blame Tyson Fury for. Anthony Joshua did what he had to do. I said it every time somebody asked me about the fight. I said it won't go past 3 rounds. It's not supposed to go past 3 rounds. Anthony Joshua is so talented and so strong that he did what he had to. It couldn't go past 3 rounds.
Touch more on what you just said. You kind of blame Tyson Fury for what occurred. A lot of people, including myself, said he didn't take that fight seriously. He barely trained, if he trained at all. Why do you think what happened yesterday needed to happen?
You know what? Anthony Joshua did what the world needed to know. He showed the world that when you come, even if you're a superstar, a world champion in the UFC, that doesn't mean you could compete against world class fighters. Tyson Fury didn't take the fight serious. I could almost guarantee you he didn't even train 1 single day for that fight. That's why he looked the way he did, and that's why he made Ngannou look like he could actually compete with world class fighters. But it was Tyson Fury's fault. He didn't train, and he disrespected boxing because he made boxing look bad. He made boxing look like any other guys can compete in boxing. No, it's not. That's not reality. Talented fighters cannot get beat against guys that have never fought professional boxing before. When it comes to our younger fighters, just because they're not fighting superstar UFC fighters, but every time they tell me about opponents, this guy, he used to be a MMA fighter. Oh, that's the easiest fight for my fighters. So we take them. We take those fights. All my guys that are working their way up. The first 5, 6, 10 fights of their careers. Whenever they tell us you're fighting an MMA guy, we take it right away because we know those are the easiest fights. So just because Ngannou was a world champion in UFC and MMA doesn't mean he could compete against world-class fighters. He did against Tyson Fury, but it was Tyson Fury's fault. He did it, and I knew it. That's why I never gave him a chance against Anthony Joshua. I always said it will not go past 3 rounds.
Do you think the Ngannou boxing train stops, or do you think he goes after someone like Deontay Wilder?
He could still do that, and still look, making $600,000 when he was fighting in the UFC to $20 million in his last fight, or $10 million against Tyson Fury. He could make another $10 million against somebody like Wilder. Hell yeah, why not?
Would you be interested in that?
I wouldn't mind watching, and I wouldn't mind seeing Wilder get a good knockout out there. You know what I mean? Wilder needs one of those too.
Yeah, he does.
And Ngannou became a star. He almost beat Tyson Fury, and now he gets knocked out. It's still huge. Come on, he didn't lose. He made $20 million. So for him, it was a great win for him. Making it there. To where people actually paid. People, the Saudis were able to put the money together to give him that huge payday. He won.
Now, where does AJ go from here? I know that Tyson Fury and Usyk fight on May 18th and everything. Does he await the winner for that, or does he go after Joseph Parker, who just beat Zhang yesterday as well?
You know what? The way Anthony's doing, he could fight anybody, and I think right now he could beat anybody. I think activity is the main thing. I know his trainer also, his new guy. He's a great trainer, man. Can't think of his name right now. Well, anyways, people know who who this guy is. He's a
Derek
great
James?
No. Derek James was not in the corner.
Oh, okay.
The new guy from England.
Ah.
So he came out to bring something, a different mentality, something good for Anthony. But the main thing was activity, man. With any fighter, man. If myself, if Derek James, if anybody, we have a fighter that hasn't fought in over a year and a half, then it's gonna be hard for him to perform, especially when they're going in there against tough opponents. If you're gonna pick the right opponents, well, of course you're gonna look good. But against world-class fighters, there's no way you could go out there and perform if you've been inactive. Activity is the main thing, and that's the best thing Anthony Joshua has been doing. Staying active. It could be with any trainer. Obviously his Ben. What's his name? Ben Davis.
Oh, the
Ben
one
Davis.
that was training Tyson Fury before.
Yeah, Ben Davis. He's a good trainer. He's focused. He's dedicated. He wants to become the best. Right now he's probably the best in England, in Europe, and he was out there to do his job, to do the best he can to show the world that Anthony still has it, and he's proving that he does. But I think just activity was the best thing that Anthony could have done.
Did you catch the post-fight interview? The
No, I
post-fight
did
in the
not.
ring? Oh, okay. So the reason why I asked is because AJ actually thanked all of his ex-trainers and actually named you by name. I wanted to see how you feel about that.
I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, he said thank you to Robert Garcia, and he started naming some of his trainers. You were one of the first ones that came out.
Well, you know what? Anthony Joshua is an athlete. He's always in shape. Always stays in shape. He's never out there partying or anything. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think he's ever even got drunk or anything like that. He's a very focused person, and that's why he's at where he's at. A lot of fighters have so much talent, but they do the wrong choices. I think Anthony's always been a very family man. He still lives with his mom. He takes care of his team. Working with him was a great experience. I actually got a difficult fight. Going in there against Usyk, coming off that loss and then going straight into the rematch. It wasn't easy. I still think we did a good job. I think myself and Angel Fernandez, we did a great job. To where everybody told us he looked way better than the first time. That's what everybody told me. I know there was a few things that Anthony thought he heard, or he heard wrong, that I said something about he has mental problems. I said a lot of things have to do in the head. And if he's thinking different things, something that made him think it was negative. But I don't, that's the way boxing is, man. I was happy to be part of that team. Everybody around them are great people. They're doing, right after that fight, before I left Saudi Arabia, after the fight, I told his team, Anthony wasn't there. We told Anthony, me and Rudy Hernandez told Anthony in the locker room after the fight. Anthony, Rudy's the one that first brought it up. He's like, I'm gonna say something, and I don't care if you guys get mad, but you guys need to stay active. Fight him again right away. Keep him busy, because that's what he needed. And before I left, I told him, look, I don't know if you guys are gonna do it with me or without me, but keep him busy. Have him come to the States, train in the States. If it's with me or anybody else, it wasn't with me, but he came with Derek James, and I think that was the first step that they did to do the right thing. But activity was the main thing. Keeping him busy was the main thing. It's not with me, which is fine. I'm okay with that too. I'm busy. I got so much fighters, and I wouldn't be able to travel to the UK anymore, especially with guys, like Virgil Ortiz, who is back. Bam Rodriguez was pretty soon to fight a huge fight, which we'll probably bring it up right now. Virgil Ortiz fighting a big fight. Jose Ramirez, and so much. Raymond Murataya looking for a world title pretty soon. Not his next fight, but 1 or 2 fights from now, he'll be fighting for a world title. So I'm very busy too. I have a lot of work, so I wouldn't be able to travel to the UK to train him anymore. I'm glad he teamed up with Ben. I think Ben is a great trainer. I respect him. He beat me with Jose Ramirez and
Josh Taylor. So I give them respect. They're doing a great job. They belong to be together. Now, moving on.